Okay, we have an exotic that contrasts a little bit with this white top, but really, if you look at it as a total piece, it's pretty interesting. A lot of detail in the top attachment area, and it's got a turn base. John Wadsworth turned this, retained the natural edge. It's really actually quite interesting to do that. It's a natural edge bowl on top of a exotic base, so that's kind of cool. If you want to try another one, you could turn this really thin and then turn this really thin. That would give it a little different appearance. And then narrow this base a little bit. But pretty cool.
Can I stop you one?
I was looking at this piece earlier. This is really quite a nice piece.
Is that box shoulder?
Pine. It's actually a close grain pine. Beautiful shape, curve, a little high right here. You could soften that up if you wanted to be really critical about it, but otherwise, gorgeous piece. Sanded on the inside, which is always nice. On an enclosed piece, wherever you can reach, it's nice to sand that inside rim area. So that is sanded on the inside. Base diameter is proportional to the piece.
Hole's too small.
You think that's too small? No, actually, it's
Too small to work in.
Yeah, and if you wanted to do the, if you brought that curve up and then dipped it a little bit, that would add a little bit of accent to it. But that's really a cool little piece. You have an ambrosia maple, the decorative outside. Let's see. What's kind of neat about this is the bands are equal spaced. Has some burnishing on the rim, which is nice. Inside here is a little is flat, contrasting with kind of a flat edge here. A little bit of improvement if you just wanted to scoop that out and have that completely round on the inside might help that a little bit. But otherwise, really pretty wood, nice finish, and turn bottom. It's always nice to see a turn bottom. You might want to even bring that curve in more and have a smaller diameter base. Would give that piece a little bit of lift. Let's see. It's a really fine piece, thin, balanced, really ornamental turn bottom on it. And wood will move, so that's kind of cool that that piece was allowed to move a little bit. Sometimes movement is interesting.
Sometimes not.
Yeah, sometimes. And if it turns into a football, it's not so interesting.
It's got some quilting at the bottom there.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, what is the wood?
Yeah, this has some quilting in the bottom. That's really interesting.
That was burl from Alaska.
Okay.
We talked about it last week. That's got Woodturners finish on it. Because it's a whiter wood, I didn't want it to yellow so much with an oil, so it's got Woodturners finish on it.
Okay.
So that's actually the color of the wood originally. It didn't yellow at all.
It's birch, right? Birch from Alaska. It's gorgeous.
Birch.
Actually, a beautiful curve and nice finish. It's really pretty.
It's got a pearl effect to it.
Yeah, it has a pearl.
It is a burl.
Pearl.
It is a burl.
No,
Pearl.
Pearl.
Pearlescence.
Anyway, that's really pretty. You have a nice curve. Really nice curve there. Did we talk about this one? Oh, this is a box elder with the red. That's really dramatic. Yeah, I love the red in box elder. Well proportioned, nice opening, and I noticed this earlier. Again, it's sanded on the inside, which is really nice. Really nice finish on the inside. I took the time to sand that, which is cool. Ornamental little decoration on the base, engraved, very fine engraving with a wood burner. So that is really nice, and dated it. A couple of ornamental rings, really pretty.
That's quite a wood burning tip.
Yeah, it's really fine, isn't it? So a lot of detail with that. Plus, if you have a chance to feel that, it's really balanced. It's I'm sure you use calipers to check the thickness all the way down, so that's really a balanced piece. It's pretty. Similar to that other one, you wanted to add a little bit of, bring that up and soften that, take some off of that hard edge here and sweep it a little bit. You could add a little bit of additional contour on the top. This is a kind of structural piece.
That was the first attempt at anything of that nature.
Okay.
And it was very, very funky wood.
What's cool about this is even though it was punky and you had maybe some
split on me.
challenges with
turning it.
yeah, but you took the time to put some turquoise in there,
Yeah.
and that is really cool. You see that? It's really nice. So if you have punky wood or voids, you can put some turquoise in there and really add a nice accent to it. I think you did a pretty good job on this to retain it, considering how punky it was.
Thank you.
So if it weren't punky, you would want to go deeper and take it probably thin
Yes.
that out on the inside, and maybe cove that bottom, finish that, flip it around, reverse turn it, and then you could take some wood out of that bottom, create a little foot in there.
I was reaching the point where I was getting scared.
Okay.
Splits will do that to you.
Interesting. This, I was experimenting a little bit with bringing a piece up and keeping the bark on the edge and calling it kind of a flare piece. So that's kind of a flare style. It's kind of neat to try, experiment with. Poplar, beautiful poplar, spalted poplar, gorgeous. Actually, that's a really balanced piece. It's probably the same thickness all the way through. It's beautiful to keep that heartwood or that different color contrast in the center, and it's balanced. You have the same amount of that unique colored wood on each side, which is neat. If it had been offset, you'd have more on this side, less on that side, which would kind of make that not so great. Pretty wood, nice finish. Feels like a wax finish. Kind of a swirl bottom. That's pretty interesting. Decorative bottom. Engraved. Nice curve. Nice curve. Could have a little more lift, maybe a little bit more lift there, just to get that off the table a little bit more. And that's pretty.
So who did it?
What's that?
Whose work is it?
Oh,
I did.
okay.
That's beautiful.
How long have you been turning?
A little over 2 years.
Okay, fantastic. Eye for the curve. That's beautiful. There's another one. It's fun to see the initials or somebody that takes the time to sign a piece. So here we have an artistic W.
No, yeah.
M? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say WB possibly.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers Pictures?
It's
It's supposed to be PM with a backwards P.
Okay. Okay. Whatever that. I mean, it's cool. It's artistic.
brand.
See, that could be your symbol or your brand. When somebody sees that, they say, "Oh, that's so and so." So, nice curve. You could bring it in a little more to give it a little more lift. Pretty wood, nice finish, well sanded. It was dry, so it hasn't moved much. But it's definitely a balanced piece. That's pretty. I like a turn bottom too. That's good. Let's see. Lit it.
Termite holes would be.
Yep.
Yeah, anytime you get bugs or stuff, that gives it some character. Whoa, excuse me. Break it. Wow. Yeah.
Man.
This is I think the lid is a different wood than the bowl itself. Spalted maple.
Yeah.
Spalted maple. With a finial. It's fun to experiment with putting a finial on top. You can do all kinds of tall, narrow, big, whatever finials. That's really neat to see.
And Cindy Droza, who will be here in March, she does them really well.
And she's a master of finials. This has an inset lid. That's a nice technique to on anything you can do this with. Is just put a little ledge and then inset a lid inside. That's a nice snug lid, which is pretty. Turn bottom, natural edge. A lot of unique characteristics on that one. And then you may want to, just one item, if you wanted to make it a little thinner on the inside, take some of that wood out of the bottom of it. Let's see. We have a mulberry?
No, it's black locust.
Black locust, okay. Interesting wood.
It's a crotchwood.
Okay, gorgeous. That's just an artistic piece.
No fire.
No fire.
It's not burned. This is
So you know what? It does look like a flame.
Black locust is very difficult wood to turn.
It is.
Very fibrous.
I didn't go as deep as I wanted to because it was getting loud and grippy.
Right.
So it's a little heavy on the
It
bottom.
depends what you're going for. If you want
It's a real heavy wood, and
architectural.
it's a heavy wood.
What's cool though, you have a bulb design. You have that fun bulb, and then it shoots straight up. So that's a cool design idea right there. To kind of a small opening. That's pretty cool. No, I love a small bottom on a piece like that because that really gives it that lift. You got some pretty figure here too. Got some burl.
It's hard to know which way to put it. I mean, you want to see the figure on the back. Well, I call that the back.
Uh-huh.
But most people I think would put the dip in the front.
Okay.
So you can see the inside
Wood.
and the outside.
You have an eye for the curve. I mean, it's pretty. It comes right down above the base.
Yeah, you said it goes straight, but it
No,
looks like it's
tapers
got a perfect curve all the way out.
I hope I meant to have a curve.
Nice job.
With the motor.
And you have the option to try to sand that or not sand it. And if you either way is fine.
On the inside?
Yeah, on the inside. You wouldn't necessarily have to sand it.
It's not
If you-
sanded yet on the inside.
Right. If you did want to sand it, you could put a strap on a post and work the inside, but it's not necessary. I love the bottom. You got to see the bottom real quick. Check that out. Nice ring bottom. If you take the line from the side right through the ring, it would come right through that bottom. So it gives it.
I always have a hard time judging that.
Yeah, it gives it the
usually don't go
full.
far enough.
No, that's perfect. That gives it that full bulb appearance. That's neat. Let's see. We have another spalted piece. It's pretty. Just a fun curve, nice kind of heavy piece. The rim has a nice accent. The rim is inset. It goes in a little bit like that. Well sanded bottom. You put your name and engrave your name and the type of wood on the bottom. This is a, let's see, red heart. I've never even seen red heart. That's stunning. Check that out.
It looks better in real life than
Is that
on
yours?
your camera or my camera. It's not mine.
It's mine.
It's nice.
Okay.
The red.
Is that's the actual color of the wood?
That's the actual color.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's stunning.
Looks better on
You have a
the
lot
camera,
of
doesn't it?
really great detail around the rim. It really took a lot of time to engrave that.
Actually, it didn't take long at all.
Really?
To spiraling to it.
Oh, a spiral too, okay.
I was lucky.
Your proportions are fantastic. You have, you know, sometimes you'll see a cup that's too small or too big for the rim, but your rim is just beautiful as it curves right into that ring, the cup. That's just so balanced. It's really a pretty piece. So you have a great eye for the curve. It's pretty.
Thanks.
A lot of detail on the bottom. Look at that. And look at the side rim. He has some ornamentation on the sides and kind of grooves in the side. Anything like that can really give it some nice accents. That's cool. This is a piece I got of mine. I got this wood from Duke Forest, and the idea was to try to keep the bark on it.
Like you do.
It's ash, white ash. It was a fairly large tree, and I dried it thoroughly before I took it down to this thickness. But just tried to just get a curve that worked, just to sit above the base, and then to keep the rim, the bark the same thickness all the way through it.
That is very difficult.
And
I do
the
a
bark
lot of-
stayed on.
Pardon me?
And the bark stayed on.
Yeah,
That's a good job.
How many bottles of
Mike,
CA
I
is
was
that?
gonna say, did you have $18 or $20 worth of CA glue in there?
I had some CA, did have some CA glue around here, but you know what's interesting about CA, if you use it sparingly, just between the bark and the wood part, it will seal the bark on and you won't see it. If you let the glue drip down into the wood, then it's challenging to get rid of it. You might see some streaking. So I'm pretty careful about just putting a fine line of glue just to seal the outside, and doing the inside. When I get down to the finished thickness, I'll drop a fine line of thin super glue right around that rim just to freeze that, and it holds it on there.
You don't always have the choice, but some barks will stay on depending upon when they're cut.
Yep.
And like you couldn't keep poplar bark on if you nailed it on in the springtime. I mean, poplar will just slide out of the bark too. But you can cut it in the winter and you can keep it on. And finish your piece and you'll be okay. All woods are different.
Yep. And this, I guess, is a handle. Is this Marilyn's?
It's mine,
Hey, Marilyn.
yes. I made the handle and
Okay.
I made the tool. It's a scraper.
Oh,
and
very
I
cool.
put a plumbing nut on it and I cut a mortise and glued it all together.
How about that?
It fits very tightly, and there's almost as much steel down in the handle as there is sticking out. And it's
Okay.
very secure and doesn't vibrate.
It feels like a nice, stable, heavy tool. It really feels good. So, you know, it's cool if you can turn your own handles to become part of you and what you create for yourself. You can make them to suit your own hands and your own desires lengthwise. So that's really nice.
Now the trouble is I cut the mortise before I turned the handle, and the holes for the mortise are not totally parallel and they're not coaxial. But it really wouldn't hurt anything. It gives me a little negative rate without even trying.
Okay. There you go. So very nice. Here's a pen. This is a cool pen. I love pens. No idea how to make one, but they're really cool. Whose pen is that?
Mine.
Oh, okay, Mike. Mike does beautiful work. So it's acrylic?
Yes, carbon fiber, cast in acrylic.
Okay. Beautiful. Looks like a $100 pen.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's for sale in the back of the room?
It's the first one I made, so yeah.
it's really nice and beautiful.
Thank you.
Very nice. Is that it?
That's it, man.
Okay, thank you.